Well, good day to all of our awesome internet friends, family, and following. We've got a very special training here today, and we're doing this because we have just been approved as an expert trader inside of the CopyMe.io family. And we are extremely excited about this relationship. And so I want to tip my hat off to CopyMe.io for the technology that allows anyone to be able to leverage the trading acumen of the experts. I also want to tip my hat off real quickly to all of the other experts out there that are part of the CopyMe.io family. And what we're going to do in this training is I'm going to make my case as to why you should subscribe to Copy Digi Millionaires. And perhaps you subscribe to other experts. One of the things I love about CopyMe.io is that it's not an either-or situation. If you find value in multiple experts, you can employ multiple experts. Okay, now as we're doing this recording, the subscription that we have here at Copy Digi Millionaires is higher than the other trading experts. And so I'm going to make my case. I'm going to make my case in this training as to why, regardless of the monthly subscription pricing, why you want to be a Copy Digi Millionaire subscriber. All right, let's go to work here. All right, so I am the developer. I am the lead trader behind Copy Digi Millionaires. Real quickly, because we're going to really talk more about the strategy. I want you to understand it as you undertake it. I want you to understand the strategy. You'll definitely see the value in our subscription. Real quick background, we've been in the investment arena since 1994 when we got licensed, our Series 6 and 63 to deal with mutual funds. 98, we started learning about the stock market. 99, we started trading in the stock market, primarily stock options. Got really good at the trading part of stock options, but we also found out that we had a teaching training acumen. So we started a local company. At the time I was living in North Carolina, and we started a local company where we were teaching people how to trade in the stock market. We ultimately worked with a couple of national companies, one from a marketing, the $5,000-$10,000 stock market workshop, and the other was with a marketing company that had a stock market. They had essentially a copycat trading system. It was an auto trade system at the time. The trader, I was not the trader for them, but the trader was phenomenal, but he wasn't a great communicator. And so that particular company brought me on. We had a relationship with them for about 3 years. Where I was the lead trainer so that people could understand it as they undertook it. They paid me very well, well into 5 figures per month, to do what I'm about to do right now, which is to help you understand our strategy as you undertake our subscription. Okay, let's go to work. All right, now, everyone knows just how explosive, well, I shouldn't say everyone, but those that are in this space. And I'm going to assume that you're at least in this space. I'm going to assume that you know how to buy Bitcoin, okay? If you don't, you can Google all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to assume that you know some of the basics so we can get right to the strategy. All right, so here's what's happening in this marketplace is everyone's talking about the explosiveness of this marketplace. All right, so for instance, if we go back to January 1, 2017, Bitcoin was going for $963. By December 31, 2017, Bitcoin was going for $13,000. Now, had you purchased Bitcoin on January 1, and let's say you just held on to it, all right, you weren't trading, you weren't exchanging Bitcoin for Ripple or exchanging Bitcoin for Litecoin, you weren't doing the strategy that we're going to talk about in today's training. You were just doing the buy and hold, okay? Well, that would have served you very well in 2017. The fact is, you would have been up 1,268%. Now, let me show you something. Whenever you see these percentages, if you were to put an imaginary decimal behind the last number and then move that decimal 2 places to the left, that will tell you how much your money could have grown by a factor of. So you could have grown your Bitcoin value by a factor of 12.68 times. $1,000 invested in Bitcoin would have profited $12,675. We rounded up there by the 168%. So at the end of the year, your $1,000 in Bitcoin would have had a value of $13,000. Now, it's not just Bitcoin, and you probably know this by now, okay? Whether it's Ethereum that was up 86.37 times your money, 8,637%, or Ripple that was up 32,000. That's just absolutely mind-boggling. 323 times your money. So what's happening in this space is you're having companies, systems, left and right, right and left, coming out of the woodworks, vying for your subscription or your membership or you joining, whether it's a network marketing company that's in the Bitcoin space, or whether it's a signal service, or even yours truly, now as we're linking arms with copyme.io. So everyone's lauding what happens when the market goes up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the problem with that is the market isn't always going up. Okay? The market isn't always going up, and when she's not going up and when she is going down, she can get absolutely creamed. And so we need to have an honest discussion as to what happens when the market goes down. Because I am of the belief that if all we talk about is when the market goes up, that we're having an incomplete discussion. So our strategy within Copy Digi Millionaires, by the way, let me say this. This entire space, Bitcoin space, what many people refer to as cryptocurrencies, we refer to as Digi, the entire space, short for digital assets or digital currencies. All right, so that's why Digi Millionaires, I forgot this slide here. Our objective is to show, and prior to Copy Me, we've had a following, all right, in this space. And so our objective is to reveal a believable path to you ultimately becoming, and I've got to give you all my disclaimers, if, ands, buts, you know, can't promise returns and all that other good stuff. But we want to assist you and show you, even in this training, a believable path to you becoming a Digi Millionaire in as little as 3 to 5 years, no matter what your current financial situation is. So how about you go on and you clear off all distractions and make sure that you are watching this on your very best device. All right, let's go to work here. Okay, so we're going to share with you the primary strategy that we're going to use in Copy Digi Millionaires, and that primary strategy is based on our understanding that the market doesn't just go up, that the market does come down, and when the market comes down, it can come way down. So you can have mountaintop peaks, mountaintop experiences, Ripple, going from January 1, 6/10 of a penny. Ripple going from 6/10 of a penny on January 1 to $2.12 on December 31, 2017. Now, so a lot of folks that's now entering this space with some type of product or service, they'll talk about that. But then they're mute when it comes to, well, what happens when the market goes down? All right, so let's go to work. Let's go to work, okay? So let's share with you our strategy. All right, so now we have in our trading experience, and I don't know if I said this, but we've traded in the Forex market since 2003. We actually, in 2008, 2009, we went through all of the red tape to become licensed through the NFA, National Futures Association, the CFTC, Commodities Futures Trading Commission, so that we could ultimately run a Forex managed account. We ran 2 very successful Forex managed accounts. Then unfortunately, the U.S. changed a lot of their rules, and they made it very difficult for us to generate the type of revenue that we were hoping to generate for our U.S.-based clients. All right, so with that being said, we've turned our attention to this Digi space because we've never seen anything like what we're seeing. We've never seen so many assets that produce, 1,000% returns for a year, 10 times your money or even better. Okay, now let's talk about our strategy. So this is on Bitcoin. We are going to use as our base asset USDT, Tether. We're going to use as our base asset Tether. Why? Because when we exit a position and we go back to Tether, we're not going to have the same value volatility. Now we're going to use a trend trading strategy. So what you're looking at right now, and I've dumbed this down. I don't have all the indicators that we would be looking at off screen. You're looking at a chart of actually Bitcoin versus US dollar. All right, and since USDT basically mimics the dollar, is pegged to the dollar. All the blue candles are up candles, all the red candles are down candles, and this is a daily chart. Okay, so we're not doing intraday trading. We're not doing day trading, and certainly intraday trading and day trading, they have its place. But that's not what we focus on here at Copy Digi Millionaires. All right, so now you can see here that there was a definitive downtrend. Okay, what we're going to do is, with all of our tools, resources, trading acumen, everything that we utilize in our own trading, our own account, we're going to look for a sea change in the current trend. In this case, the trend was down. All right, we're not looking to time the market. We've got a bunch of tools and resources and indicators that we consider that give us an indication that there's a sea change, and now the market is more apt to go in a different direction, and that's when we're going to look to buy. So we had a buy right here on February the 12th, a buy signal on Bitcoin at 8,800. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to stay in the trade until we get an opposite signal. So if we're in a buy signal, we're staying in that trade. All right. We're not going to close the trade out. Now, there may be times when the trade has gone enough in our favor. Let's say if we've doubled, for instance, where we may take profits off the table. But you've probably heard the trend is your friend. So we're going to follow the trend. All right. We're not going to try to dictate when the trend is over. We're going to let the market dictate, one, when we get in. We're going to let the market dictate, two, when we get out. So we got a sell signal right here when the market was going for 10,200. All right. So here's what would have happened here. Had we had this copy me relationship at that time and you were a subscriber, we would have gotten in the master account at roughly 8,800. We would have stayed in until February 22nd, 10 days later, okay? And we would have exited with a 15.9% return. Now, I'm a huge NFL football fan. I'm a Steelers fan. And back in the 70s, it was very commonly talked about defense, and they talked about the steel curtain. I refer to this as our steel curtain strategy, where we want to defend our digi value. We want to defend our digi value. So while a 15.9% return in 10 days, when I used to sell mutual funds from 94 to 99, an 18% return, that was the fund that we sold the most of, had averaged 18% for the previous 10 years. That was a heck of a return for the year. And here, 15.9% in 10 days. Okay? Now, while that is a heck of a return for 10 days, I want you to look at the most important factor. We got out of the market before she had her head handed to her. Now, there are going to be times like in this example, that we get out of the market. We get a sell signal and the market goes against our signal. And I actually thought that we were going to get a new buy signal issued. Listen, we're not trading based on emotion. Okay, we're not trading. We will consider news events and things of that nature, but we're really trading based on our systems. And again, we're not new to this party. We've been trading in some form or fashion. We got into investments in '94. We started trading in '99. Stock market, forex market, binary options. You might want to stay away from that field. There's a lot of sharks in that water. And now this Digi space. So we get the sell signal. We're out. Okay. Now we're sitting over where? We're sitting over in USDT. A lot of times when people are trading in this space, let's say they are using Bitcoin as their medium of exchange. So they're trading Bitcoin against Ripple or against NIM or against Dash or whatever the other asset is. And so a lot of times what happens is, let's say you exchange a Bitcoin for Dash, or you exchange a Bitcoin for Litecoin, and you're trading. All right, so now you're into Litecoin and you get your profit target. And now you sell and you go back to where? Bitcoin. Well, that was great in 2017 because it was a bull market. It reminded me of when I started trading in the stock market. I got into the market actually trading in the stock market in '99, but I took about a year to learn the market in '98. And that was the height of the .com era. Listen, you didn't have to be skilled to make money in '98 and in '99 in the stock market. You could have put a blindfold on and thrown money at anything that had a .com. Conversely, in 2017, you could have put a blindfold on and thrown money at anything that was blockchain related, and there's a good chance you could have seen some profits and maybe some explosive profits. Has that been the case in 2018? Certainly not. Okay. All right. So we don't trade based on emotion. All right. We don't trade based on a gut feeling. We've got a system. Our system did not generate a new buy signal. Had it generated a new buy signal, we could have either bought back into Bitcoin, or we've got contingencies in the event that we get a sell signal that's not a good signal for that particular trade. And not every signal is going to be great for that particular trade. Okay? So I'm just going to be very honest with you. Look at what happened, though. More than the 15.9% return in 10 days. Look at what we avoided. This bloodbath. Market got up to about 11,700 at this peak. And then she rejected from resistance, and she got her head handed to her. The market got torched. The market went to Hades. I hope that's not cussing. Down at its trough, the market went down to 64.18. So my buy and hold, folks. Or if you were just trading Bitcoin against other DG assets, all right, and then you went back to Bitcoin, you were feeling that pain. And down here, the market got down as low as 64.18. So from our buy signal, from our sell signal to the trough, Bitcoin went down as much as 37%. Without our strategy, it's likely that folks that just holding Bitcoin would have seen huge Digi value volatility. Our focal point with this strategy is to defend your Digi value. Now, we got a new buy signal right here. I want you to notice, we're not trying to time the market. We're going to let the market dictate when we get in, when we get out. We need to see sufficient enough evidence with all of our trading systems to tell us to get in as well as when to get out. We bought back in on April the 19th at 83.32. Now, I need you to get this, okay? Because when we're trend trading, we're going for quality of trades, not quantity of trades. We're going for quality of trades, not quantity of trades. We're going to focus on 6 major assets right now. based on the fact that we're using Binance so that we can use USDT as our medium of exchange, our base Digi asset. Okay, I know that CopyMe.io has a relationship also with Bittrex, but they've informed me that Bittrex is a little bit more difficult to work with, and we can't trade USDT as a base asset within Bittrex, at least not yet. So we're going to trade 6 major assets. I will reveal those a little bit later in this training. Now, here's what I need you to understand. We could go weeks without a trade. We could go weeks without a trade. And here you are, you got a monthly subscription. I need you to get this, okay? In this case, we got out of the market February 22nd. Now, with our other assets, we may have gotten out of the market that date or somewhere around that date. What you'll find is that when we get a buy signal, particularly on Bitcoin and Ethereum, the other assets that we trade will tend to follow suit. Likewise, when we get a sell signal on Bitcoin and Ethereum, the other assets, because Bitcoin tends to lift all boats, it tends to sink all boats. Ethereum tends to lift all boats. This last up move that we saw in the market before the current downtrend, as I'm doing this recording, was actually led by Ethereum and not Bitcoin. Okay, so in any event, understand that we may not have a trade. You might go a billing cycle and not have a trade. If that's the case, let me tell you what's happening. If you didn't have a trade, it's because we are still in a sell cycle. And it's likely that had you been in BTC, had you been in ETH, that you would have seen extreme downward volatility. Again, in this case, as much as a 37% decrease in your value. That doesn't happen with our strategy because when we're out, we've got our feet kicked up. We are relaxing. We are actually praying that the market will burn, baby, burn. Bitcoin go to Hades. That's what we're wanting. Why? So that when we get a new buy signal, we can come back in and buy at a lower price than what we sold. So we bought at 83.32 on April the 19th. We ride the wave as long as the wave is there. We're not going to swim against the current. The trend started to show. Oh, by the way, this is very important. Okay, this is very important. Because we sold at a price higher than what we bought. So everybody teaches buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high. Okay? And obviously we want to buy low, sell high, and then we want to buy lower than the last time we sold. That won't always be the case. But it has been, for the most part, before our CopyMe.io relationship. So we want to be able to sell and then buy lower. Look at this. Let's say that we were dealing with one Bitcoin, okay? And we sold one Bitcoin on February 22nd at 10,200. That now moves over to USDT, essentially a cash equivalent. Then we come back and we buy Bitcoin at 83.32. Several weeks later, we sidestepped all of this carnage, this bloodbath. We were not there, all right? We were sitting and praying that the market would go down even further. Market says, okay, I'm finished going down. I'm going to go up. We needed enough confirmation before we got back into the market. We're not trying to catch the very bottom. We're not trying to sell out at the very top. We're going to let our systems work in our favor. By buying, if we took the 10,200 in this example and bought at 83.32, guess what just happened? We just increased our Bitcoin balance by 22.4% without adding new money to our account. Now, once we sell again, okay, which we sold right here on, and then again, this was all before Copy Me, on May the 7th, we sold at 93.92. And that was a 12.7% return in 18 days. So now we go right back to cash. Now, the beautiful part about that is now you know, once we have a buy-sell cycle, you know exactly where you stand. Did I make a profit on this buy-sell transaction or not? A lot of times when you're trading Bitcoin or ETH for another asset, again, you can have your trade close out. You're trading Substratum against Ethereum as an example. You're trading Bitcoin against Neo, and you close out that trade, whether you're doing it in a self-directed manner, your own trading, or signals, or what have you. All right, and then you go back to Bitcoin, or you go back to ETH if that was the medium of exchange, but then ETH goes down. You know, the same time that Bitcoin experienced a 37% decline here, ETH was down 57%. Okay. All right. So what happened here? Notice. We get a buy signal, we get out, not at 2%, not at 5%, not at 7%. I don't know what it's going to be, whatever the market gives us, okay? It may give us a 2% return. It may give us a 5% return. It may give us a loss. We're going to get out when we get the sell signal. We're going to sit on the sidelines in USDT. That's going to lower our value volatility. And when the market gets creamed, we're not there. Now, obviously, we're paying attention to the markets on a daily basis, all right? And once we get a new buy signal, we come back into the market. And then once we get another sell signal, we're out. So in this example, trade 1, 15.9% in 10 days. Trade 2, 12.7% in 18 days. By the way, let me go right now to the market, all right? So we can see where the market is since we got out of the market on May the 7th. We'll be right back. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you can see here I'm in Binance because we're going to be using Binance for the strategy under the USDT tab. And you see that Bitcoin is going for 82.86. So our last sell signal came on May the 7th. And let me show you, as I'm recording this particular video, what date this is. This is May the 16th. All right. So our sell signal came on May the 7th at 93.92 in my account. I sold Bitcoin for USDT at 93.92. Well, now that would happen in our master account, and then the trade would show up in your account. And so we have sidestepped over a 1,000 point decline in DigiValue. Now, what if you had 1 Bitcoin worth in your account? What if you had 5 Bitcoin worth in your account? What if you had 10 Bitcoin worth in your account and you just sidestepped $1,000 worth of declining DigiValue per Bitcoin or per fraction of a Bitcoin? Okay? All right, so I'm hoping you're starting to see why we're priced the way that we're priced, because it's not just about the return. Really, there's 3 rules of trading. Rule number 1, do not lose money. Rule number 2, doggone it, you had better not lose money. Rule number 3, now that we're not losing money, let's start to make some money. So our focal point first is to defend DigiValue. Yes, I'm excited about a 15% return in just a few short days. I'm excited about a 12.7% return in 18 days. I'm more excited that we get to help people protect their DigiValue. Okay, let's talk about the assets that we trade with this strategy. We trade Bitcoin against USDT. We trade ETH against USDT. We trade Litecoin. We trade Ripple. We trade Neo. We trade Bitcoin Cash. And of course, depending on the exchange, Bitcoin Cash could be rendered as BCH as well. And now, before I show Cardano and Binance Coin, these are going to be the main 6 assets that we're going to trade against USDT. So we're not going to trade a ton of assets. And that's advantageous for us, which is going to be advantageous for you. Why? Because we get a chance to really become intimate with these currencies. When I was trading in the Forex market as my primary way of trading, and I still do some Forex trading, initially when I first got started, I was looking at 20, 30, 40, well, maybe not 40 or 30, but 20 different currency pairs, some of the exotics and what have you. And what I found is that when I really honed in on just a few of the major pair, I got to know that pair a lot more intimately. I got to know how she liked to move, how much she liked to move, so on and so forth. And so by simply concentrating on 6 major pair, it allows us to really be focused on these 6. Now, to a lesser degree, we may also trade right now Cardano, ADA, and even Binance's own coin. But the top 6 is where we're going to focus the majority of our trading assets. Okay, now, here's what I want to do now. Since we are brand spanking new as I'm recording this to copyme.io, we don't have any performance statistics because right now we are in a sell cycle. All of our assets, we've sold out of all of our assets. So what I want to do is I want to back things up and I want to show you our last buy and sell cycle prior to our relationship with copyme.io. The other thing that we're going to do with our service is we have a model account. So we've got the master account where we actually post the trades, all right? Where we'll actually make trades in our own family's account. And of course, then your account will receive those trades. We've actually set up a model account, and this is what I'll use to show when we're doing updates. We'll be doing updates to our subscribers, especially once we're out of a buy and sell cycle. And we have funded that, and I'll show you that so that you can see going forward how the model account, it's a client just like you are, all right? It's receiving the signals just like you are. All right, so since we don't have performance data right now, let me go over the last buy and sell cycle, and then there's some very important things I want to share with you about why this strategy is so needed in this marketplace. All right, so our last Bitcoin buy and sell cycle, we bought at 83.32, which is what we've just shown you on screen. On April the 19th, we sold on May the 7th for 93.92, so we were in that for 18 days. Now, this represented a 12.72% return. Our previous sale, when we did a buy and sell, I showed you also. But from the sale, we sold out at 10,200. And while we were on the sidelines, the market went clear down to 64.18. That was a 37% a pounding. And that did not impact our Digi value at all for this strategy. Now, I do other trading, not for this service, where I'm exchanging Bitcoin for whatever the other asset is, or I'm exchanging Ethereum for whatever the other asset is. But for this particular Copy Digi Millionaires system, by far, at least 80% of our trading is going to be what we just discussed. Now, here's what I want. I want to have this frank discussion with you, okay? Bitcoin hit its mountaintop experience of $20,000 on December 17th. So you've got all these voices talking about Bitcoin, 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 get in this space, join me, get my signals, get my this, get my that. But who's talking about the Valley Low experiences? We are at Copy Digi Millionaires, and not only are we talking about it, we're trading because of those Valley Low experiences. Bitcoin hits a height of 20,000 on December 17th. The person buys Bitcoin after all the hype, and at the high, they're not too excited about Bitcoin right now. When it went down to as low as 59.93, a decline at its trough, its Valley Low experience of 70%. Gosh. So needed, ladies and gentlemen. What we're doing is so needed. Without strategy, you would have sidestepped much of that bloodbath because we would have gotten a sell signal earlier on. Now, we wouldn't have gotten it at the peak, but we would have gotten a sell signal to get out of Dodge, and we would have missed a lot of this. Now, we may have gone a couple of months without taking a trade. And you're still going to have your billing. But when you do the numbers, look at your account. What has your account done since January, February, March? And if we had gone 2 months without taking a trade, and we would have communicated with you, okay? And we would have gone 2 months without you taking a trade, yes, you would have had your monthly subscription. But chances are, depending on your account size, you would have saved more Digi value than what your subscription amount was without perhaps any trades. Okay, let's look at Ripple. All right. Ripple, the previous buy came April 3rd at 54 cents. Our sell signal came May 7th at 83 cents. That was a 53.7% return in 34 days. So Bitcoin did really good. Ripple did much better. Now, let's have this discussion that you may not ever have with anyone outside of Copy Digi Millionaires. Ripple hit her highs of $3.84 on January the 4th, 2018. Now, I want to go back to something real quickly. Okay? So Ripple could have been purchased January 1, 2017 for 0.6 of a penny. By the end of the year, 2017, she's going for $2.12. She's up 32,000%. You've got to love Ripple, right? Then she hit her height, her mountaintop experience on on January the 4th of 384. But since then, she has come down as low as 46 cents. Now, she's not 46 cents right now. She's off of those lows. What is she right now? My XRP, she's at 69 cents. Okay? So she's come off of those lows, but still, this is from a mountaintop experience of $3.84. If you measure the mountain peak to the valley low, there was an 88% decline in Ripple. So look at this. If a person on January 1, 2017 purchased Ripple at 0.6 of a penny, and let's say they invested $1,000 in Ripple, and they just held on to it, when we got to the end of December, Ripple was going for $2.12. They were up profits, $323,000, $1,000, $323,000, and yet just a few days later, at the mountain peak, the mountaintop, one's Ripple value could have been $639,000 when she's at $3.84 a token. Well, this is where the discussion typically stops. When people just talk about returns and they use that to get people to join them in a network marketing company and deal with Bitcoin, or buy my alert service where you can place your own alerts. Have I done all that? Listen, all the stuff that shows up on CoinMarketCap, some great marketing. Have I bought multiple subscriptions for $2,500 a year or $5,000 a year because they did great marketing? Yes. I have about $1,500 a month that I currently invest in trading, subscriptions, or tools and resources, and what have you. Mountaintop, 639,000. Valley low. That 639 lost 88% of its value. It lost $562,000. Why is my subscription priced where it is? It's more than everybody else on the site right now. That may not always be the case because of the value we bring. Period, end of story. You think this person here who invested $1,000 saw it go to 639? You think that they're going to be grateful that their $1,000 is at $76,000 at its trough? That is, they're over 75 times their money? Or you think they're going to be thinking about, oh my gosh, what happened to my 639? See, at 639, you start dreaming again. At 639, you're starting to think about, maybe if you're at retirement, hey, I'm going to finally be able to have a golden retirement. Or maybe if you are a little bit away from retirement and it's not what you want it to be, you say, oh, I'm going to be able to retire. Or maybe you're thinking about, I'm going to be able to pay my mortgage off. Or maybe I'm going to be able to get that new vacation at home. I'm going to be able to send my children to the best schools and college. So you start dreaming again with 639, then all of a sudden you come back. It was only a few months later. We're talking at the mountaintop, January the 4th, 2018, Valley Low, April 1. 639, losing $562,000 in value. We got to defend that value. And that's what Copy Digi Millionaires is going to do for you. It's going to defend your value. By the way, some in my audience refer to me as a lyrical miracle. Did you just hear that? That's what Copy Digi Millionaires is going to do for you. It's going to defend your value. Oh my gosh, if my career with CopyMe.io didn't work out, maybe I'll be a hip-hop mogul. Quickly, we'll speed this. Oh, by the way, I got to show you this. Okay. See, here's the challenge when you lose so much Digi value. Okay. Here's the challenge. So from its mountaintop experience to its valley low experience, Ripple has lost 88%. Now it's picked back. Give me a moment. Let me find that. Bear with me. I thought I had it somewhere. There we go. Okay. All right. So Ripple's lost 88%. Now it's come off of those lows where the lows were 46. Now she's at 69 cents. Okay. But let's go with the 46. Okay. So here we go. It was valued at $3.84. It got down to 46 cents. It lost $3.38 worth of value. If we take this loss of value and divide it by the 384, this is where the 88% comes in. You lost a value of 88%. But it's not as simple now that we've lost 88% of our value in this example for the asset to go up by 88%. All right. So now when the asset was at 46 cents, okay, let's put this in my memory. The asset's at 46 cents, and let's say it goes up by 88% from there. It just adds 40 cents. So if it goes up 88% from its trough, it's only going for 86 cents. But we got to get to $3.84 just to get back that Digi value. All right. So here's what has to happen. At 384, that's where you had the peak of the Digi value in Ripple. All right. And at its trough, it was at 46 cents. That means that Ripple from 46 cents has to move, if you move this decimal 2 places to the right, that would be 834%. It's got to move 834%, or it's got to move by a factor of 8.34 times. Meaning, if you do this, if you take this 8.34 times, all right, 0.46, this gets you back to 384. So, do you see why it's so important to defend your value? If you are in this space and you're trading in this space and you don't have a concrete game plan for what in the heck happens when the market gets creamed, when the market gets torched, then you have an incomplete trading plan. Do you see why our subscription is priced where it is? Because of the value that we bring. All right, let's hurry up. NEO, previous buy, 84.50. That was on May the 2nd. We actually took a small loss on NEO. Okay, we got a sell signal. NEO did a head fake. We got a sell signal. We don't sit and hold and say, we want to be right. We're going to hold on to it and hope that it comes back. Not going to do that, because if we do that, then we go away from defending your Digi value. We got out. We took a small loss. All right. But the previous buy-sell cycle on NEO, we got in at 49, sold it at $70. That was a 43% return. All right. So we took a small loss on that one. Okay. And that loss was 5.24%. Okay. So we are going to take some losses. We're not going to win all of the time. But again, we're going to protect your Digi value. That's the whole part of our trading methodology with this service. Okay. All right. Now, real quickly, NEO, height 196.85. From its mountaintop experience, went down as low as 44.59. That's a 77% smackdown. So what if you had a little Ripple and a little NEO and a little Bitcoin and a little Ethereum during the bull run, and you just held on to those? I already know what happened to your Digi value. You've got a lot of craziness going on. A lot of value volatility. Our service is designed to help mitigate value volatility. Litecoin, last buy on 133, last sell at 159. The buy on April the 3rd, sell on May the 9th. Litecoin, 19.64% return for a month and 6 days. I think Litecoin was our longest hold here in this buy and sell cycle. Once again, at her height, mountaintop experience, 375.29. At her depth, all right, valley low experience, 105. That was a decrease of 71.93%. And remember, if your Digi value decreases like that, it's got to work so much harder to get back to where you once were. Okay? So we want to mitigate the volatility and the loss of your Digi value. Ethereum, buy signal 490 on April 13th. Sell signal May 11th at 737, 50.4% in 28 days. In our previous buy sell with Ethereum, we had a sell on Ethereum at 834 on February the 21st. So we stayed out of Ethereum from February 21st until April the 13th. We saw Ethereum from our last buy sell prior to the one I just shared with you. When we sold out at 834, we saw Ethereum get smashed 57% down to $358. We weren't there. We were sitting on the sidelines watching the movie, watching the horror movie. But for us, it wasn't a horror movie. Okay? So we sidestepped this nosedive, this $358 going down to $358 or a 57% plummet. All right? What was her mountaintop experience? What was her valley low experience? You could have bought ETH for about $8 January 2017. On December 31st, she was going for $756. All right, 9,300% return, $1,000. Could have grown your ETH Digi value to 93,000. She actually hit her mountaintop experience on January 13th at 1432.88. So from her mountaintop experience, let's say if you had invested $1,000 in ETH on January 2017, at the mountaintop, you'd have had $178,000 worth of ETH value. Her valley low experience, she sunk to 366.91, down 74%. That means that you would have lost $132,000 worth of value. And that's if you just had $1,000 invested in ETH. What if you had 5 or 10 grand invested in ETH? My gosh, if you had 10 grand invested in ETH, you'd be down 1.3 million in value. You see why my subscription is what it is. Okay? All right. So here's the thing. Like with ETH, your $1,000, even at its trough, your 1,000 from January 1, 2017 to its mountaintop, to its trough, is still worth $45,000 at its Valley Low experience. But are people going to remember that they're up 44 times their money? Or they're going to be saying, man, what happened to my $178,000 in just a few short months? And that is, again, why we're bringing this service to the marketplace. Because to my knowledge, I don't know of anybody else that's teaching this or trading this way. And, obviously there could be. All right, I just don't know of anybody. Okay. All right, here's our 6 asset. I wanted to show you the buy and sell cycle of our last buy and sell cycle prior to our association with CopyMe. Last buy on April the 12th, Bitcoin Cash was at 709. Our sell signal came in on May the 11th. 99.29% return for 29 days. And of course, many of you know that Bitcoin Cash was created by a fork. So many of us got Bitcoin Cash as a freebie, all right, because we had some Bitcoin during the fork. At its height, Bitcoin Cash went to 43.55 on December 20th, 2017. All right. And by the end of the year, it was up 1,040% from the 382. I was looking at CoinMarketCap to see when it looked like she actually started trading, not when she was listed on CoinMarketCap. And so I'm using the 382 figure from the time that she was starting to show volume. Okay. So your $1,000 worth of BCC in August would have grown to 10,400. But from the mountaintop to the valley low, you would have seen that value decline from 43.55 per BCC down to 627. 85.6% erosion. Now she's come up off her lows, but she still has quite a bit of ways to go before she gets back. All right. So I wanted you to understand what our strategy is, and I wanted you to also understand, all right, because you have many choices, and there'll be more choices with CopyMe.io. And remember, you don't have to be doing all or nothing. All right, you don't have to be I'm all in with this expert, and I'm not going to do any other experts. The beautiful part about CopyMe.io, especially if you've got the resources, is you can leverage as many of us as your resources allow. Now, let me do one last thing here. So I want to talk about our money management. All right. Before I get to money management, let's do this. I tell you what, no, let's do money management first. Then that other slide will make a lot of sense. Okay, so let's talk about money management. So here's what we're going to do in our master account. And this way you can determine how much of what we're doing you want to follow. If you want to follow us 100% or 50% or 20% or what have you, okay? All right, so what we do is we will take the master account value, all right, and we're going to allocate 80% of the master account value to those 6 assets. All right, so let's say we are now finished with a buy-sell cycle. Let's say there's $100,000 that's sitting in the master account. We're going to take 80,000 of the 100,000. Or if there's 10,000 in the master account, we'll take 80%, 8,000 of it. Okay, I'm going to use 100,000 as our example. So we're going to take 80% of the master account value, and that's what we're going to use for this strategy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to divide that equally among our 6 primary assets. Okay? Now, when you do the math to that, well, I'll talk about that in just a moment. Now, we're going to keep 20% on the sidelines, and we will do a combination of some things there. There may be some asset that we see that is severely oversold, not one of these 6 in this example. They're severely oversold, and we might take a small portion and go in to play a bounce. All right, so we might do that, or we may use that for trade adjustments. We don't have to do this very often, but let's say that we get a buy signal on an asset, and the market goes against us, but it has not given us a new sell signal. Okay, if you remember, we got a we got a sell signal. Give me a moment. All right, we got a sell signal on our buy on Bitcoin right here, okay, at the close of this candle here. So we entered at the close of that candle, the beginning of the new candle. But the market went against us for a spell. Now, ultimately, we never got a new signal. We never got a C chain signal, okay? The market just went against us, and then ultimately it went our way. All right, so could it happen that we get a buy and the market goes against us, but we are still in the trade? Yes, that could happen. And so we want to have some resources set aside to make some trade adjustments if we need to. Maybe we need to buy a little bit more of a particular asset to cost average down, because now we're not going to do that just to be doing that. We're only going to do that if we are still, our systems are still giving us a sell signal. Okay? All right, we're not just going to buy down, because we don't know how far she can go down. You know, if you had Bitcoin at 20,000 and now all of a sudden she's down at 15,000, you buy some more at 15,000. And then she goes down to 11, you buy some more at 11. And then she goes down to 8, and you buy some more at 8. Well, when she get down to $6,000, your $20,000 purchase, your $15,000 purchase, your $11,000 purchase, they're all underwater. And your value is steadily going down. And the biggest thing about your value going down is, what does that do psychologically, especially if you've tried other things that didn't work. You tried to make money selling on Amazon. You tried to make money selling on eBay. You tried to make money in some type of multi-level network marketing opportunity. You tried to make money trading binary options. You tried a Forex managed account, and you got your head handed to you. So if you have had other things that have happened that didn't quite work out, and now you get into the digi space and that's not working out, then I'm just concerned that you just walk away and you just give up. And all you need potentially in this space are some very skilled traders with a high trading acumen that you follow. And again, I hope that you will, become a subscriber with us. But I also hope that you'll ultimately have other subscriptions through CopyMe.io. Why? Because this is the primary strategy that we use. But there are other traders on the site that have other strategies that will help you round out your portfolio. Okay? All right. Real quickly, I just want to cover this, and we're just about ready to round third. And I want to thank you for taking time out to watch all of this. I know that in this hectic world that we live in, people want content in 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Well, I'm not going to give you a 2 minute, 5 minute content. I'm going to always err on the side of giving you more information than what you need. That way you can never accuse me of not giving you all the information. Okay, and if you don't need as much, then you just pull away from the table, and you don't have to eat it all. Okay. With that strategy, with the 80-20, okay, what would that have meant net for you, potentially, maybe, perhaps, got to give you all my disclaimers, for your overall account? Your overall account would have grown in the neighborhood of 30.73%, because we're not trading 100% necessarily of the account. We're trading maybe 80% of the account and maybe some smaller trades with the other 20%, okay? So if you had a $1,000 account, at the end of that buy-sell cycle, which was just over a month, $307.30. You had a $10,000 account, you'd have made over $3,000. You had a $100,000 account, you'd have made $30,000. Thereabout. Okay? All right. So here's what you get with Copy Digi Millionaires. I think this is our last slide. You're going to get a strategy that focuses on defending your Digi value first. 3 rules of trading: do not lose money, number 1. Number 2, doggone it, you work way too hard for your money. You better not lose it. What are you going to say to your wife? What are you going to say to your husband? What are you going to say to your significant other if you lose that money? You better not lose it, number 2. And that's not to suggest that we're not going to lose money. We're going to take losing trades. It's to suggest that we're going to focus on, I said on, like there's a D on. Sorry. We're going to focus on defending your Digi value first. Then number 3, third rule of trading. Now that we're not losing money, Let's make money. Trend trading strategy is going to be focused on quality and not quantity. Once we're in all of our assets, we're going to be in 6 assets. Now, if Binance adds some more pairs to USDT, by the way, the reason I would only trade Cardano at a smaller level or Binance at a smaller level is because I use a lot of Forex software, a lot of Forex charting. I think the charting that you have in any of the exchanges sucks. If you're not a chartist, it's cool for you. But if you are making decisions, particularly running a service like we are, you want to have the best charting services. And the Forex platform that I use to help generate the buy and sell calls based on the systems that we use, they support various Digi assets. Cardano is not one of those. Okay, so hopefully at some point maybe we'll have Dash that Binance will support with USDT. Maybe we'll have NIM that Binance will support. Well, actually, my Forex doesn't support NIM. All right, there's actually 12 assets my Forex system supports. So right now we trade 6 assets because those are the 6 assets that Binance has with USDT. If they bring on some other ones like OMG comes to mind, and I'm having a little brain fart thing. I don't remember all the other ones, but there's 12 assets. Okay, there's 12 assets. We're trading 6 of those. EOS, that came to mind. I think we already said NEO, so on and so forth. Okay. Listen, we're going to give you some ongoing updates on what's going on with our service. Now, as I'm doing this, and we're just about finished. As I'm doing this, right now, copyme.io, and I think this might be in development. Forgive me if I'm wrong about that. I think they're going to have a way that you can talk to the various experts, or at least the experts can communicate with you. I'm really big on trading education, so you understand it as you undertake it. So what I plan to do is to provide some ongoing updates. Now, right now, we might, they'll have to tell me what the rules are of what I can and can't say in the chat room. So maybe they'll allow me to have you to subscribe to an email list or to a text list or what have you. The big thing is at the end of every buy and sell cycle, my plan is to at least, if we haven't communicated before then, is to at least communicate at the end of a buy and sell cycle. Meaning we've got these 6 assets. Once we're sold out of everything, we'll be able to clearly see what our profits were or were not. If we took losses, what were those losses for that particular buy and sell cycle? We have set up a model account that once we start to do those types of follow-ups, we can go into that model account. Matter of fact, I'll just show you that right now. And I also want you to understand that I am an expert that puts my money where my mouth is. So we've got the master account, all right, which is my family's account. And then we set up a model account that we will be showing. We funded that with $10,000 worth of Tether, USDT. We bought a little bit of the Binance coin. If you've traded with Binance, you know that if you have some Binance coin, that will reduce your trading fees. But once we are out of a sell cycle, so all 6 assets we've bought and we've sold, we'll be able to come back here and see what that Tether balance is. All right, and look at when I'm recording this. I'm recording this again on May 16th. All right, we've not yet really begun to promote our service. We just got accepted as an expert advisor just a few days previous. All right, and I'll be doing a lot of teaching and coaching and training, and we'll help get subscribers that way, so on and so forth. And don't forget that there is a referral element. All right, there is a referral element. So if you find value at what we're doing, one of the reasons we're going to be showing this and giving you updates is that those of you that want to generate some additional revenue from the referral side, you'll have some content that you can get out. All right, if that's what you want to do. Obviously, that's totally optional. So we will be doing updates every buy-sell cycle. You'll know exactly where we stood, how much money we made, so on and so forth. And we'll be doing that out of the model account, the same type of account that you'll have to be receiving the trades. All right? Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it. Oh, until such time, there we go. Until such time that either there's a way for me to communicate very easily with you as a subscriber of ours, all right, or the company gives me the okay to maybe make a post where you can subscribe to an email list, and we send out, periodic content that way, or text list, and we send out periodic content that way. Make sure you've gone in your back office to copy me to Telegram, excuse me. Make sure you've gone to Telegram and you have become a part of the chat there. And this is where you'll find me. Okay. All right. DigiDoc. Obviously you can post it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big social media dude. All right. And now with this service, I feel even more responsibility not to get overly engaged in social media, because that would take away a lot of time. I want to focus on the trading and then communicating with our existing subscribers. I'm not a chit chat guy. Okay. But if you have questions or what have you, and I'm certainly open to constructive critique. Now, if you've got just negative stuff, I'm not the guy for you. I don't have time for that. But if you've got something constructive, feel free, until such time that we've got a better way to communicate with you as to what's going on. All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we love each and every one of you. We look forward to you being one of our subscribers. Copy, my gosh, Digi Millionaires.